please, begging and pleading, anybody that has seen him, just call the number. He's a good guy.
A desperate plea from a Texas family looking for their son, last seen in the Round Rock area. You may have seen these billboards driving along I-35 with Timothy Pettis' photo. His family says he's been missing for 3 months. And a new Texas law requires law enforcement agencies, justices of the peace, and medical examiners in the state to use a national database to solve missing and unidentified persons cases. But as KXAN investigator Arzo Dos explains, police say Timothy is voluntarily missing, and that concerns missing persons experts who fear it's creating a very dangerous loophole.
There's a pole right there.
Well, we can put in that pole or this pole.
Robert and Sandra Perez
Put it down a little bit lower, more eye level. Eye level-ish like that.
have posted dozens of flyers. Every few days, they make the drive to the Austin area from near Houston to search for their 32-year-old son, Timothy.
You know, we just need eyes out there. Something, you know, where do you go? He was here in Round Rock.
We need help because we don't live around here.
He doesn't either. He doesn't know the area.
His family says the musician has been missing since March 5th. They say he was driving to Austin to visit his brother, but they never connected.
He's really bad with directions, so I'm sure he got all turned around and he just got lost. He's not familiar with the area. And so in the process of getting lost, he ran out of gas.
The family filed a missing persons report with Austin police. They say an officer found his car without gas along I-35 near Palmer in North Austin, but no signs of Timothy. His family says they were told by police that he was last seen at a church in Round Rock. A spokesperson with Round Rock Police says the church made a welfare concern call for a man in the area, and officers met with him, but he wouldn't identify himself and left. The spokesperson says days later they learned it was Timothy.
Where is he? Where is he? That's the everyday question. Where is he?
Round Rock police tell us they believe Timothy is voluntarily missing. Why? The spokesperson with the department says based on officers' interaction with him at the church, they determined he was not in danger, was not a danger to others, and was not committing a crime. Police say they don't know his current location or status.
He's somewhere where he doesn't know where he is, or I just hope and pray that he's okay. That's my prayer, that he is okay and we're not ignoring stuff that we could be researching.
Round Rock police shared a link with us from Wikiversity, which says a voluntary missing person or someone who intentionally goes missing is an individual who decides to leave without informing family, loved ones, or close affiliates of their whereabouts. Timothy's family says that's not the case with him.
You know, when you say voluntarily missing, that probably means there's going to be no real direct search for that person.
For 15 years, Todd Matthews worked with NamUs, the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, and helped craft laws mandating the use of the national database to solve cases.
And in certain cases, the term voluntarily missing can be very dangerous. They might not know what's happening to them. There's cases where people have overdosed or just died completely of an accident, you know, struggling to find their way, getting lost in the woods even, drowning. There's so many things that can happen to a vulnerable person.
In Texas, a new law requires law enforcement agencies, justices of the peace, and medical examiners to use NamUs. The law says the agencies must enter forensic details into the database no later than 60 days after getting a missing persons report. Round Rock police couldn't confirm if the reason they didn't enter Timothy into NamUs was because they considered him a voluntarily missing person. His family, not police, entered details about him into the database last month.
He was having a rough time,
Yes.
but I don't think this was his plan.
No.
Who plans to run out of gas and walk off?
Yeah. He's never done this before, and I don't see him doing this.
This is very out of character
Very,
for
very
him.
much out of character.
Very out of character.
Arzo Dos, KXAN Investigates.
And Round Rock police say they have received information that Timothy's cell phone may have been in Conroe near Houston after officers connected with him at the church. His parents say they want police to investigate his cell phone records. The spokesperson with the police department says detectives have gone above and beyond to utilize all resources legally allowable. The family is working with Texas EquuSearch and has hired a private investigator to help with that search. If you've seen Timothy, call police. And Round Rock police say these types of cases are rare, where they determine that someone is voluntarily missing. NamUs does not track or classify cases as voluntarily missing. A spokesperson says all missing person cases submitted to NamUs are verified to be missing with law enforcement prior to publishing. As Arzo mentioned, our new state law went into effect last year after an ongoing KXAN investigation about missing and unidentified persons reporting. And since then, there's been a near 80% increase in Texas cases entered into the database. State Representative Lacey Hull worked closely with the families to get the law passed last session. She's already working on gaps in the law and will be looking to file additional legislation this upcoming session. We did ask her office if anything will be included about a person being reported as voluntarily missing, and have been told Hull is aware of the case. For a closer look at the law, explore our complete investigation, all you have to do is go to missingintexas.com.